Now to Pakistan, where journalists and judges are facing off after an American human rights group accused the Pakistani judiciary of suppressing stories critical of the courts. Over the years, Pakistani judges and journalists have been allies. Both were anxious to get rid of the military strongman, Pervez Musharraf. But now the two sides are quarreling over press freedom. Our contributor in Pakistan, Wajahat Khan, explains.
It's been called the clash of the liberators. Pakistan's checkered history hasn't allowed for many heroes, but there is little doubt that the last decade has been dominated by the rise of a robust media and an independent judiciary. Having done away with their common enemy, military dictatorship, and ushering in an era of civilian rule, Pakistan's journalists and judges now seem to be taking each other on. Though the friction between the pen and the gavel has been the topic of Pakistani parlor room discussions for a couple of years now, the narrative was laid bare by a surprisingly strong-worded press release by the New York-based Human Rights Watch in late November. The release said, Pakistan's judges should cease using the contempt of court powers to prevent the media from airing programming critical of the judiciary. The program's Asia director went on. Unless they want to be seen as instruments of coercion and censorship, they should immediately revoke these curbs on free expression. Journalists and news organizations would immediately tweet and retweet the report. But the issue would fast become politicized on social media when Asifa Zardari, daughter and heir apparent to Pakistan's elected president Asif Ali Zardari, would tweet a strong, direct quote from the Human Rights Watch report that would in turn be widely circulated. Other prominent political dynasts like Shahryar Taseer, whose father, Governor Salman Taseer, was gunned down last year when he challenged the court's verdict against a Pakistani Christian's alleged act of blasphemy, would join the debate. The hashtag judicial coup said it all. Some of Pakistan's loudest liberal voices, like think tanker Raza Rumi, contenting himself, would call the Human Rights Watch report pretty strong. A social media everyman, evidently a Nietzsche fan, would describe the cannibalized nature of the scandal as only a nihilist could, by tweeting, "It seems like every institution in Pakistan is hell-bent on spiraling to the ground by going to war with every other institution." But in Pakistan, a report by a US-based organization which slammed the judiciary for muzzling the media could not go unnoticed. In a widely shared and tweeted story, Human Rights Watch and its Pakistani director were slammed for being highly politicized, anti-Pakistan, and reporting to the US Senate while involved in ridiculing and attacking the country's judiciary publicly. Though it wouldn't provide much evidence, the story, by a reporter who often writes in support of the military and the judiciary, created shockwaves. The writer himself would claim that he had been victimized by the watchdog and its liberal supporters and been declared a terrorist. Pakistan's social media would become the only space and place in this constricted and controlled country that would freely allow criticism and critique about one of the country's touchiest, even riskiest topics, the balance between justice and freedom of expression. For LinkAsia, from Islamabad, Pakistan, this is Wajahat Khan.
Now on US airwaves, a global channel of uncompromising stories. World news, documentaries, entertainment, and culture. Link TV, connecting you to the world. For more information, visit linktv.org.